Here's a quick question for you. How does someone become an influencer? It's a job that basically didn't exist 10 years ago, but is now practically unavoidable. Even if you're not on social media at all, influencers are having their face plastered all over news headlines, TV shows, movies, makeup brands, and pay-per-view sporting events where they get their asses beat for our enjoyment. They're so ubiquitous that more kids in the US and UK want to be social media stars when they grow up than want to be astronauts. So what exactly did they do to get so famous? If only we knew someone out there who had done that job that could tell us exactly what it takes to break into an industry like that and to... Oh. Yeah, I guess I could actually do that. Hi, my name's RJ Aguirre, and before I was the creator, writer, producer, and host of shows like this one, I was actually a professional influencer from 2009 to 2017 and did it full-time from 2014 on. So then how did I manage to land that job? Well, personally, I had the benefit of getting in and finding my community early. But really, all you have to do to be an influencer is to be influential enough to gain a big enough audience on social media. Now, as for how you do that, the answer to that question is always changing. Social media platforms use algorithms to monitor your activity and then recommend more content that they think will keep you engaged on the platform. Those algorithms are always being fine-tuned, modified, and replaced as that platform's priorities, audiences, and trends change. Those changes almost always happen without any heads up from the company, since they argue that those algorithms are proprietary. As an aspiring influencer, those algorithms are the gatekeepers keeping you from your potential audience, and you have no real way of knowing what they're looking for. And even if you can use analytics to form a really reliable guess, you have no way of knowing when or how those criteria are going to change. But here's a couple free pieces of advice. Success on social media depends on answering two questions. One, what is it about you, your content, and your voice that makes you unique? Two, where can you find people who can connect with that thing that makes you special? If there's one thing the internet has taught me, it's that there is an appetite for everything out there. So the worst thing you could possibly do is to try to be like everybody else. If you can manage to gather a big enough following, there are three main ways that you make money as an influencer. The first is through revenue sharing. Anytime you see a video or banner ad on a platform like YouTube, that's because a brand paid money for it to be there. Most of that money goes to the platform, but a portion of that money also goes to the creator who made the content. Now, this monetization option is pretty much open to anyone provided that they operate within certain parameters. But if you start today from scratch, you'll be lucky to make a few pennies per upload. It's only after you gain a bigger and better audience that the cost to advertise on your channel goes up, as is measured by a metric known as the CPM, or cost per thousand clicks. Your second moneymaker is branded content. That's when a brand approaches you directly to make content promoting their brand or product. These are the posts where you see people peddling flat tummy teas, clothing brands, beauty products, apps, you name it. When that happens, the brand pays you directly, either a flat fee that's negotiated or an affiliate commission based on the amount of sales or traffic that you generate. Your third moneymaker is direct monetization. That's where your audience pays you directly, be it through buying official merch, events, donations, your own personal business venture, or a premium subscription like Patreon or OnlyFans. No matter how you go about making your money though, be sure to read every contract that you sign from top to bottom, and make sure you set aside enough money to pay your income taxes. Again, just some pro tips. Now this should go without saying, but I'ma say it anyway. Getting to full-time creator status is hard frickin' work. You gotta be able to shoot, write, edit, strategize, moderate, read data, the list goes on. Any job that you outsource will cost you money. The good news is that it does get easier to grow an audience once you already have one. The bad news is that keeping that audience never truly gets easy. For one, the internet never sleeps, but you still have to at some point. There will always be a new scandal, a new trend, or a new challenge to keep up with. Taking breaks can be risky, since staying away for too long can mean that you get left behind. And it's not enough to follow trends, since you'll always have to come up with new ways to keep your content fresh and interesting. This is why you have creators burning out all the time. It's also why the internet is packed with idiots that are trying to one-up themselves and each other with progressively stupider and stupider stunts to try to keep people's interest. Don't change too much or you'll get complaints from people who liked your old content. And if your content isn't fresh enough to keep people engaged, the algorithms will bleed your traffic away until they find the next person who does. Make no mistake, these platforms do not care about you. They do to the extent that they know that someone has to make content for them, but at the end of the day, they're loyal to their bottom line. And if you threaten that bottom line, they will toss you aside and let the next aspiring influencer take your place, even if you're the effing president. That also doesn't include the fact that a lot of major platforms have documented biases against people of color, women, LGBTQ+ people, activists, sex workers, and those are just the ones that have been researched. And if you think the platforms are a bunch of heartless sociopaths, just wait till you meet the trolls. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a lot to being a creator that is awesome. I have gotten to do and try some incredible things, travel to different parts of the world, and meet some of the most amazing people ever. But part of the job is making it look like it's nothing but fun and games. And even if you can handle the work, your bottom line depends directly on how well liked you are by complete and total strangers. So if you think that this job lets you answer to no one, think again. This can and will wreak havoc on your mental health if you are not careful. So bottom line, if you want this job for the money or the fame, real talk, just find a different one. There are much easier ways to get those things. But if you're a creative person who would be just as happy entertaining 10 people or 10 million people, you've got nothing to lose but time. Just be sure and stay true to why you started in the first place. And if you're not sure whether you can hack it, here's a better way to kill your time. If there's any topic out there that's got you scratching your head and you're too scared to ask, you should totally send it our way. Tweet using the hashtag #QuickQuestion, or email us at questions@brainjoltmedia.com. Don't forget to follow us, and remember, quick questions don't always have quick answers.